Hello, I'm Mr. Gene and I'll welcome you to explore with me the cool planet that is Jupiter. We will go over some interesting facts of the planet itself while also looking at a picture or two or three or maybe even four of the planet itself. You ready? Let's go. The mass of Jupiter is 318 times as massive as Earth. In fact, Jupiter is 2.5 times more massive than all of the other planets in the solar system combined. If Jupiter got any more massive, it would actually get smaller. Additional mass would actually make the planet more dense, which would cause it to start pulling it in on itself. Astronomers call Jupiter a failed star, but that's not really an appropriate description. While it is true that, like a star, Jupiter is rich in hydrogen and helium, Jupiter does not have nearly enough mass to trigger a fusion reaction in its core. This is how stars generate energy, by fusing hydrogen atoms together under extreme heat and pressure to create helium, releasing light and heat in the process. For a Jupiter to ignite a nuclear fusion process and become a star, it would need more than 70 times its current mass. For all its size and mass, Jupiter sure moves quickly. In fact, with a rotational velocity of 12.6 kilometers per second, the planet only takes about 10 hours to complete a full rotation on its axis. This rapid rotation also helps generate Jupiter's powerful magnetic fields and contribute to the dangerous radiation surrounding it. All those beautiful whirling clouds and storms you see on Jupiter are only about 50 kilometers thick. They're made of ammonia crystals broken up into two different cloud decks. The darker material is thought to be compounds brought up from deeper inside Jupiter and then change colors when they reacted with the sunlight. But below those clouds, it's hydrogen and helium all the way down. The Great Red Spot on Jupiter is one of its most familiar features. This persistent anticyclonic storm, which is located south of its equator, measures between 24,000 kilometers in diameter and 12 to 14,000 kilometers in height. As such, it is large enough to contain 2 or 3 planets the size of Earth's diameter. And the spot has been around for at least 350 years, and since it was spotted as far back as the 17th century. The Great Red Spot was first identified in 1665 by Italian astronomer Giovanni Cassini. By the 20th century, astronomers began to theorize that it was a storm on one which was created by Jupiter's turbulent and fast-moving atmosphere. These theories were confirmed by the Voyager 1 mission, which observed the giant red spot up close in March of 1979 during its flyby of the planet. When people think of a ring system, Saturn naturally comes to mind. But in truth, both Uranus and Jupiter have ring systems of their own. Jupiter's were the third set to be discovered due to the fact that they were particularly faint. Jupiter's consist of 3 main segments: an inner torus of particles known as the halo, a relatively bright main ring, and an outer gossamer ring. Jupiter has the strongest magnetic field in the solar system. Astronomers think the magnetic field is generated by the eddy currents, i.e. swirling movements of conducting materials within the liquid metallic hydrogen core. These magnetic fields trap particles of sulfur dioxide from Io's volcanic eruptions, which produces sulfur and oxygen ions. Together with the hydrogen ions originating from the atmosphere of Jupiter, these form a plasma sheet in the Jupiter's equatorial plane. Jupiter has 67 confirmed and named satellites. However, it is estimated that the planet has over 200 natural satellites orbiting it. Almost all of them are less than 10 kilometers in diameter and were only discovered after 1975, when the first spacecraft, Pioneer 10, arrived at Jupiter. Jupiter also has 4 major moons, which are collectively known as the Galilean moons. These are in order of distance from Jupiter: Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto. These moons are some of the largest in the solar system, with Ganymede being the largest, measuring 5,262 kilometers in diameter. I'm glad that you explored the far reaches of outer space with me. Hope you enjoyed exploring Jupiter. See ya.